Hey everyone, welcome back. Well, as you've probably guessed that, yes, I now have a 1965 Barracuda Formula S automatic car. So we're gonna walk you through this a little bit, show you a few things, and go from there. Right now we're out for a little drive. Why? Because we can. All right, let's do a full walk around. I mean, this car, I know 4 owners out, and that's probably even more than that. This car was built in the Los Angeles, California assembly plant, and was actually in Washington State is where the previous owner had it transported from to Rhode Island. So this car was driven a lot then, but not so much since previous owner had it. He kept it garaged all the time, fixed what needed to be repaired on the car, but didn't do much driving on it. So the car is incredibly well kept. The paint and the body have issues. As you can see, there's a lot of dings in the paint, a lot of nicks. Come back down here, you can probably see it here. There's a dent right there by the Formula S logo. But everything is here. Still got the factory lock strip in, and you can see it's rib style, and it's kind of got a dished concave section in the middle of it. That's the original style that came on the cars. And of course the correct ribbed corners to match would have matched the chrome on the lock strip. Now if somebody put these spears on, these are typically for a 64-65 Valiant Signet. Of course they will fit on if you drill the holes and pop one on. I like it, it's going to stay. I don't want to have to weld any holes up and kind of paint match anything, because my goal is to not do anything with the car. I mean, it is got the issues that it has, and I'm not going to try and repair them. It's original, it's got original dents in it, it's got original nicks in it. I'm not going to worry about it. A temporary reg, yeah, I drove it home. An hour away from in Rhode Island, I drove it home. I mean, it's in incredibly good shape. Now, if you saw the previous video where I picked up all the parts and I looked at the cars on the lift, this is the blue one that was up in the air. And from that video you can tell that this car was just perfect underneath. And again, down the passenger side, same issues. There's dents and dings, nicks in the paint, I mean lots of them. The only thing I may do on this car, paint-wise, is buff it and see if I can get it to shine a little bit better. Clean it up, that's it. Other than that, it's going to stay as it is. Engine compartment, the only thing I might change in here is this one heater hose that's got the flush fitting for the antifreeze in there. But other than that, it's perfect as far as I'm concerned. We're going to get I have another battery hold down, correct one for it. Washer bottle, everything's in. Commando 273 with the California Clean Air package, which was mandatory on all cars built in the California plant. It's got the correct color engine. I mean, you could ask for anything more, right? Now, one thing this car does have that wasn't available in the factory is disc brakes. The previous owner researched everything, got all the parts from a 66, had them installed as if the 65 was purchased, brought back to the dealer, and had the disc brakes installed there as a safety option. And of course, the master cylinder is a single reservoir with the additional spacer there, extra capacity. He found all those parts and put them on this car. This is so clean. I mean, he also put in an electronic distributor. I do have the original dual point distributor to go back in it if I want to. I think this is an acceptable modern upgrade. I may keep this. You know, having to set points, especially dual points, it can be tricky. You know, this is a set it and forget it and one less thing to worry about. So I just may leave the electronic distributor right in there. Why not, right? Let's see, let's go inside. I mean, the car is just well kept. And when things needed to be replaced, he replaced them. Let's get this to focus. Tack works. The gauges work. Gas gauge does not. Imagine that. So I have to check to see if it's the sending unit. A bunch of other things. Now I do have to check a lot of the grounds on the wiring of this car, because it did sit for a while. I had to go through the door switches, make sure they were cleaned up. But he, in his ownership of the car, he had new seat covers put on, new carpet installed, new headliner put in, which is why you can see those wrinkles over there on the sail panel back there. Same thing up here. But what's not to want, right? It's a gorgeous shape. And from sitting, it's dirty. It's got to be detailed out. The plastic knobs here, they've got a little funkiness on them. But everything works just fine. Heat works great. Car shifts, drives. Beautiful little car. Car's got over 100,000 miles on it. But the previous owner, he likes these cars. He accumulated all the parts, like you saw in the previous video. To have them, to save them, he'd find something come up on eBay and he'd just purchase it and put it on a shelf. Because he knew that at some point, either he would need it or somebody else in the hobby would need it for one of these cars. He knew what to look for. He knew what to keep. Testament to that is he had no rear windows in his shop for these cars. He saved things that needed to be saved. Apparently all of us who saved 3 or 4 different rear windows, we're the chumps. but he saved a lot of things that you needed to save from cars. And he did a bunch of things out. So I have spare components for these cars, tail lights, lenses, things of that nature. Dashes, gauges, things of that nature, out of parts cars he did purchase and strip down. So there's a lot of parts that I have for this car that I may keep a bunch of, and some they're definitely going to get passed on. But like I said, this body's going to stay as it is. I'm not going to do anything with the paint except for clean it, and then I'm just going to drive this car. I'm going to maintain it. So along with red 66, I have blue 65 factory Formula S. So that's it. My introduction to my, I have to get used to saying that, my 1965 Plymouth Barracuda factory Formula S car. Ta-da! Hey, thanks for watching. Smash that like button. And if you like what we're doing here on the channel, please consider subscribing. We'll catch you next time.